this was like an entirely non-math lesson that I was going to give people a break. If I start doing the math, I'm going to have somebody hurt me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because we're going to have to start talking about relative motion there and stuff too anyway. But, you know something is moving because it has a reference to, and there's some frame of reference. There's some reference point that you're judging its movement by. You can tell that a car is moving because you see this exit, and then you see that exit go past you. And you see it in your rearview mirror, so you go, okay, relative to this reference point of this exit, we have now moved this far. So that's how you tell if something is moving, because it has a reference point. You have to have a reference point. So a pendulum, so a linear motion, translational movements, but tongue needs to work. Translational motion is going in a straight line. You have a reference point that is where you start.
Yeah, here, you want to help move?
Yeah. If it is rotational motion, you have a reference point that is on the wheel that you're moving. So you've got a mark in space that you move around. For instance, the Earth rotates around the sun, right?
It doesn't work.
Do we mark any spot there? Is there any spot that we mark time with? Where is our reference point for the Earth turning around the sun?
Don't know.
What is our reference point?
Probably the sun.
Well, the sun is what we're turning around. But what is our reference point?
Maybe other planets.
The reference point is midnight, January the 1st.
Great.
That is our reference point. That is where we say we start and where we say we end. So the starting point is midnight, January 1st. The ending point is 11:59 and 59 seconds on December the 31st. We say this is where we start, this is where we end, and we've gone a one complete rotation. Everybody understand that?
Yeah, we understand.
Now, could we have picked a different day for that?
Maybe so.
Yeah, we could have picked a different day for that. It's kind of arbitrary. We just everybody kind of agreed, okay, this is it. This is where we're measuring from. We'll go around from there. We could have picked, you know, the summer solstice or something. We could have picked that as our starting point. You know, we could have said, okay, this is where we're starting right here. We're going to go around. We could have picked the Halloween, is it? Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Major parties going on for that. But no, we didn't. We picked December 31st as the ending point, and January 1st as the thing. We could have picked today. We could have just picked today. We could just take up make a petition to say, okay, the year is going to start today. We're tired of this year. We're ending it now. We're just going to start from this point on. We could do that. I don't think anybody's going to listen to us, but we could do that.
No, it'd be better to start on Halloween, because
okay.
Imagine the parties that we would have on Halloween.
Right. So, let's say you are sitting in a car. Hello, Sadiq. You missed most of the party. You're coming in to where we throw a party here. We do physics class on the road. We have a live audience in our studio. Okay, I had a live audience until they got up and left. But we have a live audience in our studio.
Hey, I'm still here.
Denise is still here. Denise is still our live audience at the Barnes & Noble thing, yeah. So, yeah, and you missed most of the party, man. You're making a fashionably late entrance. I see how you are. This is you gotta make a show of it. Okay, so if you're sitting in a bus, of course you don't. If you did, it wouldn't be nearly as fun. All right, so if you're sitting in a bus, relative to that bus, you're not moving. You are sitting still relative to that bus. Right? Everybody understand it? Because you're just sitting there on the bus. Relative to that bus itself, you're not moving. Now, relative to something on the outside, yeah, Denise is actually sitting next to me over here. Sadiq says hi.
Tell him I say hi.
He wants a pony.
I don't care.
We have Depony here, but you're not here, so we're gonna have to send it back. So I'm sorry, Yeah.
Should have come.
Should have come.
But he's probably
Yeah.
sitting right here next to us.
So, yes, Carolina Grace, you're completely correct. You and the bus are stuck together. You're both moving together. So relative to that bus, you're not moving. But relative to something on the outside of that bus, you could be going 60 miles an hour. So relative to something on the outside of the bus, you're going at 60 miles an hour down the highway. But relative to the inside of the bus, you're not moving. Because you're going the same spot it is. Oh, you were in the Houston one hanging out with Miss Lott. Okay. I give you that. That's probably a cooler place to be than here with me. So.
Yeah.
Although they didn't have photos. So. Now, if you got up and started walking through that bus, though, you could be moving at 3 miles an hour relative to the bus, while the bus is moving 60 miles an hour outside. So it depends on your point of reference. All depends on your point of reference. Now let's talk about, let's say, like things moving in more than one direction. For instance, let's take a hurricane, for example. We've got our hurricane, it mentions hurricane right there. Hurricane. A hurricane has both translational motion and rotational motion. Because you've seen the big pictures of the hurricane, you got the winds all going turning in circles, and the hurricane is moving towards the coast, coming down like a Mack truck towards the coast. So it's going in translational motion as it's moving towards the coast, and it's got rotational motion as the winds are spinning. So it's doing both at the same time. So it's spinning around an axis, that's that eye of the hurricane there, infamous eye of the hurricane. You got the eye of the hurricane there, and it's spinning around that, so you got rotational motion, and you got translational motion as it's moving from Puerto Rico towards, let's say, Galveston. It's coming in towards Galveston, right there. Okay? So everybody understand that? You could be doing two things at the same time. And let's say we take a grandfather clock. We're taking a grandfather clock and we're putting it on a tilt-a-whirl that is on the back of a truck going down the highway. Everybody know what a tilt-a-whirl is? Tilt-a-whirl is that amusement park ride that you sit in the thing and it spins around. Okay, you're sitting in the little chair thing and the little chair thing spin around in circles. Okay, so we got a grandfather clock, just so you would know what time it is, sitting on a tilt-a-whirl that is on the back of a truck going down the highway.
Wait, if you're in a tilt-a-whirl, why would you want to know what time it is?
Because you have to know how much time it's going to take before you start throwing up. So it's important stuff to know.
I don't think
the pendulum on that grandfather clock has rotational motion, periodic motion. Sorry, it's periodic motion. So it's going back and forth with periodic motion. Well, the tilt-a-whirl is going around in circles in rotational motion. So the pendulum on that clock has both periodic motion as it's going back and forth and rotational motion as it's spinning around on the tilt-a-whirl. And it has translational motion as the whole thing is going down the highway. So it could be doing all three at the same time. Yeah, Sadiq is wanting you to back him up here, saying that this would probably never actually happen. You're right, it probably would never actually happen, but I had to come up with something that had all three.
Well, because you wouldn't know what time it is. It's just a clock in the tilt-a-whirl. Technically, because you wouldn't be in...
She's worried about why you would want to know what time it was.
Well, you wouldn't be in with the clock anyways. It wouldn't matter.
No, you have to be in the clock. I always carry a grandfather clock around with me to tell what time it is. That's just the way it goes.
No, if it's in a truck, you
leave the car. Yes, Sadiq, we talked about that at the beginning. You've got the Earth is rotating, so you sitting there, driving in your car down the highway, 60 miles an hour, have linear motion as reference to the Earth. The Earth has rotational motion as reference to the Sun, and it also has rotational motion in reference to the whole galaxy, and linear motion in reference to the whole universe expanding outward. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. For those of you who missed the beginning of class, we said that if you're laying there in bed thinking that you're doing nothing and you're not moving anywhere, actually what you're doing is you're turning around. The Earth is rotating on its axis at 1,000 miles an hour. So you're traveling 1,000 miles per hour as the Earth rotates on its axis. And then you've got the fact that the Earth is